Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to our channel, Digital Future AI School.
Kindly subscribe our channel, like and share with friends. And this is the episode 25 of Book AI Agent Makers, written by Mr. Zahir Ahmad Mir.
Today, we are moving past the idea of just chatting with an AI. We're really getting into the engine room of professional intelligence.
We are. We've got excerpts from a really fascinating source today, the AI Agent Makers Mega Prompt Library, specifically Appendix P by Mr. Zahir Ahmad Mir.
And this isn't your average guide to writing prompts, is it?
Not even close. This is a collection of over 200 professional-grade, really copy-paste prompts. And they aren't designed for, casual questions. They're for creating specialized AI agents.
That's the critical distinction here. We're not talking about asking an AI to just write a quick email for you. We are looking at highly structured directives.
Exactly. Directives designed for serious, high-stakes work in fields like law, medicine, business, education.
So if you're building a business or an agent that has to produce predictable, high-quality output, these mega prompts are basically the blueprints.
That's the perfect way to put it. Think of it like this. Most people talk to AI like a general contractor. They say, build me a house.
Right, very vague.
Very. What Mr. Mir outlines here is the detailed architectural spec sheet. So our mission for this deep dive is to understand why these are called mega prompts.
And it seems the mega isn't just about length.
No, it's about function. It's because they take these incredibly complex, multi-step professional tasks and turn them into predictable, reliable AI outputs. We're going to analyze the structure, the rigor they impose.
And the professional standards they aim for. Some of these are even aiming for international standards.
That's right.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Our deep dive is going to show you how these carefully structured prompts really act as blueprints for AI agents across a whole range of professional fields. It's a shortcut to getting well-informed on high-level AI strategy.
And we're going to start in a field where precision is, well, mercilessly required.
The world of law and the judiciary. The source material says these prompts are crafted to international standards, covering 14 different domains. They're supposedly ready for everything from government use to really detailed legal work.
And you picked the right starting point. It's hard to imagine a field that demands more structural precision, zero tolerance for error than law.
It's the ultimate stress test for an AI agent, isn't it?
It truly is. Because legal work, it requires absolute adherence to format, to specific, sometimes ancient terminology, and the ability to cite, to cross-reference, to synthesize complex cases.
And if an AI generates a beautifully written document,
but it fails to meet the procedural rules of the court,
it's completely worthless.
Completely. So the legal and judicial prompts we're looking at, we're going to detail about 10 of the 20 available. They immediately show you the sheer weight of structure that's needed to make an AI legally functional.
So this highlights a really crucial strategic point then. The prompt isn't just about getting content, it's about ensuring procedural compliance.
You're essentially embedding an entire legal workflow, the rules of the court, right into the AI's instruction set.
Let's get into the specifics. We'll start with the foundation, legal analysis. The first one is PCHED 1.1, the case law explainer.
Right.
And this is so much more involved than just asking for a summary of a court case. It actually demands 5 mandatory components.
And those components dictate formal legal thinking. It forces the AI to structure its analysis exactly like a seasoned lawyer or a judge would when they're preparing a case brief.
So what are they?
Okay, so first you need the facts, the concrete, objective story of what happened.
Just the what, when, where.
Exactly. No interpretation yet. Then you need the issues. These are the specific legal questions the court was forced to resolve.
The core conflict.
Yes, but everything, and I mean everything, hinges on the third part. The ratio decidendi.
That's the Latin phrase, right? The reason for the decision.
Precisely. It's the core binding legal principle that the case establishes. If the AI misses this, or if it misstates it, the entire analysis just collapses. It's that important.
And the prompt doesn't stop there. It pushes beyond the decision itself into the future. It demands application in future cases. And I found this really interesting. Contradictions, if any.
And that's where the analysis becomes truly strategic. The AI has to perform a kind of legal forecasting, predicting how this new principle will apply to different sets of facts down the line.
And flagging contradictions. That's a critical review function.
It is. The prompt is asking the AI to flag where this new ruling might clash with older precedents or rulings from other courts. It's looking for tension in the law,
The prompt even specifies a professional high court tone.
which is another quality control guardrail. It ensures the output is ready for a professional audience, not just, some internal notes. It has to sound the part.
So the structure basically guarantees you get something functionally useful to a lawyer.
It eliminates the risk of getting a Wikipedia summary. You got a real legal analysis.
Okay, the complexity then ramps up quite a bit with P.1.4, comparing multiple judgments. This feels like a major shift. It's moving the AI from just summarizing one thing to performing this active, high-level, comparative legal synthesis.
This is where you really see the AI agent perform advanced analytical work. You could, for example, feed it 4 different appeal court rulings on the same legal issue, maybe from over a decade.
And then what happens?
The AI is then mandated to compare them across 4 specific elements. First, it has to identify the common issues, the legal problems that just keep coming up.
Then it has to highlight the divergent views.
Right. Where did the judges disagree? Where do different states or provinces have a split in legal opinion? It has to map out the disagreements.
And it also has to trace the evolution of law.
Which is fascinating. It shows how the legal standard has shifted over time. And finally, and this is the most critical part, it has to identify the strongest reasoning from all those cases.
So it's not just saying they disagreed, it's making a judgment call on which argument was the most persuasive.
Exactly. It's an active legal critique.
I can really see the strategic value there. Instead of a junior lawyer spending days reading 4 long judgments and then trying to manually synthesize the common threads.
The mega prompt forces the AI to execute that entire high-level comparative thought process for you, and it presents the synthesized conclusion, well, almost instantly.
The time savings would be immense.
Immense. And the key is that the deliverable isn't just raw information. It's synthetic insight, ready to be dropped into a courtroom argument or a client memo.
Okay, so that's analysis. But drafting actual legal documents, that's where procedural compliance becomes absolutely non-negotiable. Let's look at P1.5, drafting a petition for the High Court.
Right. This isn't just about writing something that sounds legal. It's about adhering to rigid, formal court rules.
This prompt is basically a checklist dictated by the court itself.
It has to be. A petition, to even be accepted by the court registry, has to have specific, formalized parts. The prompt mandates them. You need the title, the name of the court and the case, the list of parties who is suing whom.
The clear statement of facts.
Then the specific grounds, which is the legal basis for your complaint. And then the prayer.
The prayer being what you're formally asking the court to do.
Precisely. The petitioner prays for an order compelling X to do Y. It has to be that formal. And finally, the required annexures list, which is your schedule of supporting evidence.
And I imagine if the AI leaves out that annexures list, even if the arguments are brilliant, the whole thing might get rejected.
It absolutely could be. Rejected for being procedurally incomplete. So the mega prompt is effectively embedding the rule of law right into the instruction set. It guarantees that procedural completeness.
Which is a huge source of error for humans, even experienced ones.
It can be. Now, for something a bit less formal, but just as structured, we have P.1.6, the legal notice generator.
This is that first shot across the bow in a legal dispute.
It is, and it needs a very specific structure to be effective. The prompt demands a step-by-step framework. You need a formal intro, a clear presentation of the facts of the dispute.
The specific violation or breach of contract.
A very precise demand for what you want them to do to fix it. A non-negotiable deadline for them to do it.
And the kicker. The consequences. What happens if they ignore the deadline?
That's the whole point. The structure removes all ambiguity. It enforces a professional firmness. If the AI were to skip any one of those components, the notice would be weak and ineffective. The structure ensures it is firm, procedural, and legally defensible.
I can just imagine how this structure prevents all the common mistakes people make when they try to write their own angry letters. They usually leave out the specific deadline or the consequences.
And then it has no teeth. This gives it teeth.
There's also P.1.3, the written arguments draft, which is for documents you actually submit to the court during a case.
Right. This is the document designed to persuade the judge. It's the culmination of all your research. So it requires the case background, the core legal propositions you're arguing.
Supported by citations for every single point of law.
Absolutely. Every point. Plus, a formal statutory analysis breaking down the actual written law, and then you restate the desired relief. It forces the argument to be linear, logical, and based entirely on evidence.
Okay, let's shift to a really specialized high-stakes area, criminal defense. We're looking at P.1.10, The bail argument generator.
This one is a perfect demonstration of how you can embed very specific strategic knowledge into a prompt. A good bail argument has to attack the prosecution's case from many different angles.
So the prompt forces the AI to build that multi-pronged attack.
Yes. It requires the AI to generate arguments based on specific legal concepts. For example, challenging the investigation based on mala fide, that's arguing the police or the complainant acted in bad faith.
Or challenging the evidence by citing no recovery.
Meaning no incriminating physical evidence was actually found on your client. You can also point to procedural errors, like a delay in FIR, which is the first information report.
And there are also mitigating factors.
Right, like serious medical grounds. And of course, the entire argument needs to be supported by successful precedents. Other cases where bail was granted in similar situations.
That's fascinating. It's not just asking for reasons for bail. It's instructing the AI to build a defense using these very specific, legally recognized pressure points.
Exactly.
But I have to ask, doesn't structuring the prompt this rigidly risk limiting the AI's creativity? Could it miss a novel legal argument because it's so focused on this checklist?
That's a really important question. And I think the answer is that in these high-stakes fields, the goal of the mega prompt isn't necessarily novelty, it's reliability and compliance.
Okay.
Legal procedure demands that you fit your argument into these established legal boxes. So if the prompt forces the AI to consider mala fide, it ensures that strategic angle gets covered, which a less experienced human lawyer might actually overlook.
So it's a strategic floor, not a ceiling.
That's a great way to put it. It provides a strategic baseline. Now, finally, let's look at P.1.8, statutory interpretation. This is arguably the most conceptual and sophisticated legal task here.
This is where we get into legal philosophy almost.
Absolutely. Statutory interpretation is how a court figures out the true meaning and effect of a law. It's the difference between just reading the words on the page and understanding why that law was written in the first place.
So what does the prompt demand?
It forces the AI to consider four highly complex conceptual things. First, legislative intent. Why did the government create this law? What were they trying to achieve?
Second, case law principles.
Right. How have other courts wrestled with this law or similar concepts in the past? Third, the purpose of the rule. What specific social problem is this rule trying to solve? And finally, after all that, its precise application to the facts of your case.
So this is definitive proof that the prompt is forcing the AI to engage with the spirit and the history of the law, not just summarizing the text.
The depth of these legal prompts, it sets an incredibly high bar for what professional grade even means for an AI agent. The structure guarantees the output isn't shallow text. It's a deep, multifaceted analysis ready for a real legal consultation.
And that insistence on mandatory structured components, that seems to be the hallmark of this whole mega prompt concept.
It is. It's the core reason for its utility. It's designed to avoid the ambiguity and randomness you get from general AI interactions.
All right, so moving on from the very stringent, rigid demands of law.
We're now shifting to the highly adaptive domains of learning and personal well-being, education, and health.
And here, the structure of the mega prompt seems to shift its focus. It's less about procedural compliance.
And more about optimized knowledge delivery, in the case of education, and personalized safe guidance in health. The challenge here is totally different. It's about ensuring pedagogical quality and establishing very clear safety boundaries.
Two fields that absolutely rely on clarity, on adaptability, and on carefully tailoring the output to the end user. So let's see how these prompts structure knowledge for a modern digital learning environment. We can start with the foundational piece of any teaching. P.2.1, the lesson plan prompt.
Effective teaching always starts with a structurally sound plan. This mega prompt ensures the AI isn't just creating raw content, it's creating a complete pedagogical package.
So it's a workflow template for a teacher or even a teaching AI.
Yes. It requires specific, standardized elements. You need clear objectives. What measurable skill or knowledge will the student actually get from this lesson?
Then you need the activities.
Right, the methods. Is it a discussion, a demonstration, a group project? Then, the assessment. How are you going to measure if the objective was met?
A quiz, an essay.
Exactly. And finally, homework for reinforcement.
This is vital. It ensures the output is actually functional and executable for a teacher. It's not just a block of text about a topic, it's an instructional sequence.
And by requiring all four of those components, the prompt transforms the AI from a simple content generator into a functional pedagogical assistant.
Speaking of pedagogy, I like this next one. P2.2, explain like a teacher. This feels like an explicit instruction to prevent the AI from defaulting to that dense academic textbook language.
This is a critical behavioral instruction. Good
Yeah.
teaching is relational. It's about connection. So the prompt forces the AI to prioritize accessibility and memorability. It demands the use of daily life examples.
Something relatable.
Exactly. It required visual descriptions to help with comprehension, strict use of simple language, and it ensures active engagement by requiring the AI to include practice questions.
So it's defining the crucial difference between just transmitting information and actually successfully instructing a student.
The AI has to adapt its entire voice and method based on this structure.
And an agent has to be good at assessment, too.
Right.
Let's look at P.2.3, generate 20 MCQs. The complexity here really shows the depth required for a good testing tool.
The value is all in the structure. It's not just give me 20 questions. It requires 4 options for each question. The correct answer must be clearly identified and, this is the transformative part, detailed explanations for each answer.
Ah, the explanation is the key.
It's everything, because it allows the AI to perform remedial teaching right after the test. It explains why the right answer is right, and maybe more importantly, why a common wrong answer is wrong.
So the assessment tool is immediately converted into a learning tool.
Instantly.
The agent can also handle high-level synthesis. P.2.5, the student progress report, is a perfect example of moving beyond just giving a grade.
A useful progress report has to have actionable insight. This prompt demands synthesis on the student's strengths, a clear identification of their weaknesses, and specific recommendations for how they can improve.
So the AI has to analyze performance data and then provide qualitative prescriptive guidance. It's acting like a well-informed academic advisor.
Exactly. It shows the AI agent can be a full-spectrum pedagogical assistant. It generates material, it sets assessments, it analyzes performance, and it can even design the macro structure of learning.
Which brings us to the grand scale of P2.10, the digital school curriculum designer.
And this is where we test the agent's ability to do systemic planning. The prompt asks for a full curriculum for a specific grade level, tailored specifically for a digital AI-powered school.
So that's not just a syllabus.
No, it implies the AI has to structure this curriculum with asynchronous learning in mind, maybe with integrated AI tutoring modules, with digital delivery standards. It's a huge organizational task.
All right, let's move into the health domain. Here, clarity and crucially safety are absolutely paramount.
And the structure of these prompts is very specifically engineered to bridge that communication gap between technical medical jargon and patient understanding while rigidly enforcing safety boundaries.
P4.1 medical report translation has a fascinating requirement. It asks for the explanation of a medical report in simple Pakistani Urdu.
This specific localization requirement is a brilliant insight into the real-world application of AI agents. Medical reports are technical, and the patient may not be a native English speaker, or they just might not be fluent in medical terminology.
So mandating the translation into simple Pakistani Urdu highlights this absolute need for localization.
Both linguistic and cultural localization, it's about ensuring the patient can actually comprehend the information.
I have to ask, why is localization a critical safety feature here? I mean, doesn't the AI just need to be accurate?
Accuracy is the baseline, but comprehension is safety. In so many settings, misunderstanding a dosage or a follow-up instruction or a diagnosis because of a language barrier can lead directly to medical errors or the patient not following the treatment plan.
I see.
A mega prompt that guarantees accessible, localized language is actively reducing that risk. It ensures the information is received and internalized correctly by the patient and their family.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Then there's the demystification of diagnostics. P4.2, the MRI X-ray explainer.
This one is designed for patient empowerment. It forces the AI to break down the complex report into structured, digestible sections. It has to list the findings, the objective technical stuff,
Then the meanings.
the clinical implication of those findings, but most importantly, the critical component, questions to ask your doctor.
That's brilliant. It positions the AI firmly as a preparation tool, not a diagnostic one.
Exactly. It helps the patient use their very limited time with their physician as effectively as possible, ensuring they get clarity on the most vital points.
P4.5, the blood test explainer, seems to follow that same structure. It demands an explanation for each test result and what it means.
That level of detail is critical because blood tests are highly multivariate. A general summary is useless if one specific marker like slightly elevated creatinine or low platelets is the key issue. The prompt demands a component-by-component explanation.
So nothing gets missed.
Precisely.
Okay, let's address the elephant in the room, liability and safety. The wellness prompts P.4.3 for a health plan and P.4.4 for a physiotherapy assistant, they both stress that the plans must be explicitly safe and non-medical.
This is the non-negotiable legal and ethical safety guardrail. The mega prompt has to firmly establish the AI's limited role. It's a guide or an assistant. It is explicitly not a clinician or a prescribing doctor.
So by forcing the AI to declare its own output as safe, non-medical,
You minimize liability, you manage the user's expectations, and you reinforce the ethical boundaries of AI in health. The structure dictates both the utility of the guidance and the critical limitation of its scope.
so we've transitioned from law and medicine to the commercial world, and this shows a shift from procedural compliance to what? Market velocity, strategic efficiency.
I think that's right. In business, time is capital. So the mega prompts here act as instant high-level consultants. They ensure strategic analysis is structured, comprehensive, and ready for immediate executive action.
They force you to address the most critical questions for viability before you waste resources.
That's the entire game.
We can begin with the absolute first step, due diligence. P-Fight 3.1, the startup validation prompt. This is the essential checklist an agent has to complete before a founder invests a single hour into building anything.
It's basically a miniature feasibility study designed to prevent founder bias. It mandates answers to 5 existential questions. First, is there a real problem being solved here?
A pain point people will pay to fix.
Exactly. Second, who is the competition and what are their fatal flaws? Third, what is the serviceable and addressable market size?
Is this a niche product or a global one?
Right. Fourth, what is the scalable and sustainable revenue model? And then the final, synthetic judgment. Should it be built?
That last question is so powerful. It forces the AI to move beyond just listing data and into making a conclusive recommendation.
It demands a clear, action-oriented judgment. Now, once you're validated, the AI helps structure your communication for investors. We have P.3.2, the pitch deck creator, and P.3.4, the business plan prompt.
Why does P.3.2 specifically demand a 10-slide pitch deck? That seems very specific.
It's an industry standard in early-stage venture capital. 10 slides implies extreme brevity and ruthless focus. A VC partner might spend 2 minutes, maybe 3, reviewing a deck, not hours.
So the prompt forces the AI to prioritize only the most impactful information.
Problem, solution, team, market size, traction, just the hits for maximum investor conversion.
And then the business plan, P.3.4, is the comprehensive deep dive that backs it all up.
It guarantees a 360-degree view of the entire business framework. Now, moving on, competitive intelligence is crucial. P.3.3, competitor analysis, requires deep benchmarking.
And it seems to go beyond just a simple list. The prompt mandates a comparison across 4 defined vectors for 5 different competitors.
The output is a standardized matrix, a grid comparing features, pricing, strengths, and weaknesses. This structured grid lets a founder instantly identify white space in the market.
Or discover where their own pricing might be vulnerable.
Exactly, or where they can attack.
Now for strategic direction. P.3.5, the marketing funnel prompt, and P.3.10, the pricing strategy prompt, seem to integrate established commercial theory directly into the instruction.
P.3.5 is a superb example of embedding best practices. It specifically requests an ADA-based marketing funnel.
ADA being awareness, interest, desire, action.
The classical 4-stage framework for consumer behavior. By requiring the AI to stick to ADA, the prompt guarantees the resulting funnel structure is strategically sound and follows recognized marketing principles.
So you're not just getting random steps, you're getting a proven framework.
Precisely. And for pricing, P.3.10 recognizes that it's not a single decision. It requires a comparative recommendation on 3 distinct models: subscription, one-time purchase, and freemium.
Because a product might need to pivot its pricing over its life cycle.
Of course. Subscription for software, one-time for a physical good, freemium for rapid user growth.
Huh.
By forcing the AI to articulate the pros and cons of all 3 dominant models, the prompt delivers a comprehensive financial strategy overview.
Okay, let's move from that internal strategy to external execution, actually structuring the sales workflow. P.3.7, client proposal.
This is all about managing expectations and minimizing scope creep, which can absolutely destroy profitability on a project.
So the mandated structure includes a clear scope of work.
Precise deliverables, a formal timeline, and explicit payment terms. This ensures the AI generates a template that is functionally a legally sound service agreement. It minimizes friction.
And then P.3.8, the sales email prompt, is a great example of strategic staged outreach. It asks for 5 sales emails with increasing persuasion.
It recognizes that a complex sale, especially B2B, is rarely closed on the first email. The prompt enforces a strategic sequence.
So email 1 might be a gentle introduction.
Email 2, a case study. Email 3, handling a common objection.
Yeah.
Email 4, a personalized meeting request. Email 5, a final time-sensitive offer. It dictates a phased approach.
And for high-stakes digital marketing, P-Tweet 3.9, the website copywriter prompt, focuses specifically on writing conversion-focused landing page content.
Because a landing page has one job and one job only, to convert traffic into leads or sales. This prompt instructs the AI to use specific psychological frameworks, clear value propositions, and structured layouts to maximize that action.
The quality of the output here has an immediate financial consequence.
Absolutely. Now, this commercial world extends heavily into content creation, where the mega prompts manage not just the words, but the format and the visual strategy needed for modern platforms.
Like YouTube, P6.1, the YouTube script prompt, mandates both a precise length and specific audio elements.
The length, a 7-minute script, forces the AI to structure the content for engagement and platform monetization. Critically, it also demands specific audio elements, detailed narration, clear examples to keep people interested, and a prominent CTA, a call to action, at the end.
It's engineered for video consumption, not just written like a lecture.
Exactly. And that focus on visual strategy is key. P6.2, the thumbnail concept prompt, moves completely beyond text. It requires 3 thumbnail ideas detailing text, visuals, and colors.
Because the thumbnail is the gatekeeper to the video.
It is. This prompt forces the AI to think like a designer about visual psychology. The use of bold, contrasting colors to stand out in a feed, concise text for immediate understanding, and engaging visuals that communicate the video's promise.
So it integrates design requirements right into the content workflow.
You have to, for modern media.
And the agents also have to be capable of generating substantial long-form content, like a full chapter for a book based on an outline, which is P.6.3, or a professional podcast episode script, P.6.4.
These tasks require the AI to maintain narrative coherence and structural integrity over a much longer duration. For the chapter, it has to follow the logical progression of the outline. For the podcast script, it needs to generate a dynamic back and forth like the one we're having now.
And finally, integrating technical marketing demands, P.6.5 requires a 1,500-word SEO blog with headings.
This is a clear instruction for optimization and building authority. The 1,500-word count signals depth and comprehensiveness to search engines. And the mandatory, structured headings ensure readability for humans and proper hierarchical structure for SEO robots. It's a perfect synthesis of technical marketing and creative content.
Okay, we've established how the mega prompt structures complex text and strategy.
Now we get to look at 2 domains that show the broadening utility of the AI agent: handling diverse data types, what's called multimodal, and assisting with self-improvement or personal growth.
The principle is the same though, right? Structure must govern the output.
Regardless of the input medium or the eventual goal. Absolutely.
The multimodal section is really showing the AI moving beyond just plain text. It has to process images, audio, video, and convert that raw data into structured, actionable information.
Let's start with visual analysis. P5.1, the image examiner. This requires the AI to analyze an image for 4 distinct categories, and it goes way beyond basic visual recognition.
Standard image AI tells you there's a cat in this picture.
Exactly. But a professional mega prompt has to look for utility and risk. So it demands analysis of the simple objects, yes, but also the identification of errors.
Errors? Like what?
A flaw in a product mockup, a design inconsistency in a graphic. It also requires extraction of any text content via OCR and, crucially, an assessment of legal usability.
Legal usability of an image. What does that actually mean?
It means auditing the image for potential liabilities. Are there recognizable faces that would require model releases? Are there visible company logos or copyrighted elements that would prohibit you from using it commercially?
So the prompt forces the AI to act as a visual auditor, identifying potential legal minefields before you use the image.
That's a huge shift from simple recognition to professional risk assessment.
And P.5.2, the OCR prompt, shows that even just extracting text needs some structural hygiene built in. It requires the AI to clean formatting and detect missing pages.
Data integrity is everything when you're digitizing documents like contracts or old reports. Raw OCR is notoriously messy. The prompt ensures the output is not just text, but cleanly formatted text.
And detecting missing pages, that could be a lifesaver.
It could prevent an incomplete record from ever entering your database.
The other prompts here define a kind of structured data pipeline for non-text media. P.5.3, the audio notes processor, is a three-step automation sequence.
This is a classic example of an agent-based workflow. The prompt demands: transcribe, summarize, convert to bullet points. The AI is being instructed to perform a sequence of complex tasks to turn raw, rambling audio into a highly condensed, actionable digest.
For anyone who records meeting minutes or interviews, that would save an immense amount of time.
Absolutely. And P5.4, the video lecture processor, is a bit simpler, just extracting key points from a video, but it's so necessary for rapid learning.
So these multimodal prompts really confirm that the mega prompt is the control panel for these complex, multi-step data pipelines.
Exactly. It ensures that whether the input is text, an image, or audio, the final output is rigorously structured and professionally useful.
Okay, finally, we move to personal growth, where the AI agent acts as a coach or a personal manager. Even in this very subjective area, the most effective prompts are still demanding high levels of structure, accountability, and measurability.
Self-improvement often fails because the goals are vague and there's no consistent structure. These prompts are designed to inject that rigor. Take P.7.1, the daily planner.
It forces the AI to structure time management meticulously. It requires not just a list of prioritized tasks, but also dedicated breaks and specific learning blocks.
That balanced, holistic requirement is crucial for long-term consistency. A good plan has to integrate rest and proactive skill development. The prompt ensures the plan is a sustainable structure for your day, not just a stressful to-do list.
Then there's P.7.2, the habit builder, which requires a precise duration, a 21-day plan for building a specific habit.
By mandating that 21-day duration, which is often cited as a benchmark for habit formation, the prompt forces the AI to create a phased, actionable, and time-bound plan. It dictates the pacing.
It moves beyond just generalized advice into structured psychological programming.
That's a good way to put it. And finally, P7.3, the confidence training prompt, focuses on continuous, actionable advice. It demands daily confidence exercises.
So it's looking for consistency and actionability. It's not asking for an abstract article on confidence.
It's asking for specific, repeatable tasks, things like journaling prompts or power poses or controlled public speaking practice, things the user can do immediately to build that skill over time.
So what does this all mean? Across every single domain we've looked at, from high-stakes litigation to personal confidence, the philosophy is identical.
The most effective AI prompts demand highly structured, measurable, and actionable output. The mega prompt philosophy dictates that structure equals utility, no matter the domain.
So to recap our deep dive,
The mega prompt concept is really an engineering exercise. It's about instructing the AI to reliably produce these professional-grade, multi-component outputs. Whether that's a legally sound petition, a market-validated business plan, or a pedagogically sound lesson plan.
it works by breaking down what feels like overwhelming complexity into mandatory, defined, structured fields.
It's the difference between asking an artist for a sketch of a house and handing an architect a full blueprint, complete with safety certifications and a list of materials. The structure is the necessary constraint that guarantees quality.
The value of an AI agent is directly proportional to the complexity and the strategic structure of the prompt you feed it.
And the source identifies over 200 of these highly structured prompts across 14 domains. It suggests a massive effort is underway to standardize and professionalize AI output quality on a global scale. This library is essentially a professional curriculum for the AI itself.
It's teaching the AI how to behave like a regulated, reliable professional in any field. The ultimate takeaway for you, the listener, is that if you want expert-level output, you have to provide an expert-level structure.
We've seen how precise prompting can generate a full legal notice or a 7-minute YouTube script, complete with visual concepts and SEO requirements built in.
We've seen how the mega prompt is the true foundation of the reliable AI agent. So consider this final thought. What previously time-consuming multi-step task in your own professional life that currently feels chaotic or unstructured can you begin to break down into a structured set of mandatory multi-component demands for an AI agent today?
That strategic shift from asking to demanding structure is the real key to unlocking true professional automation.